it. Honorable Owen Baya, you can see as majority leader that more than 6 chairs of committees that have come in focus this afternoon are not in the House. And that is
on diaspora affairs to give a response with regards to one Riziki, who was actually is actually in Jeddah police station in Saudi Arabia.
I remember the commitment, yes. The chair of diaspora, again, is not here. Owen Baya.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, on the same matter, the chair of diaspora talked to me about it, briefed me about it, and she has been directed to the Committee on Defense and Foreign Affairs. That's the appropriate committee, so they are dealing with it.
Is Defense and Foreign Affairs here?
Unfortunately, no. But she's holding brief, yes.
Okay.
So you, probably she has a statement. Yes, the statement.
You have the statement. We'll come to it. Yes, Tongoyo, response to Omboko Milemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I do have it, Honorable Speaker, and this was in regards to the tragic fire tragedy at Makina area, Kibra, in Nairobi City. And Honorable Speaker, the member wanted to know the comprehensive report on the cause of fire accident and also the support, if any, given to the extended to the survivors and the steps being taken by the government to expedite the release of DNA. And Honorable Speaker, I need your indulgence in this. This statement was around May around 25th. I mean, that is when actually the incidents happened. Honorable Speaker, given...
Sorry, what did you say? You want me to
indulge you? Honorable Speaker,
yes.
Because given the urgency of the matter,
yes,
of course we could not wait to this far. I took personal initiative, and the member who is my destimate here, to even actually reach out to the government chemist. We had the DNA released, and ever since the bodies have been buried, and because of course the families were going through agony. So I need you to indulge, Honorable Speaker, whether, I know it's still the record of the House, but we had actually covered a big ground with the member here concerning what the member exactly wanted to know. So I don't know whether I still need to read it.
You've shared with the Honorable Milemba?
Yeah, including personally reaching out to the government chemist when the incident happened to have the DNA done. Expedite, Honorable Speaker.
So is the statement ready or it isn't?
I have it here.
Yes.
I was asking whether it's still again relevant for me to read or
Milemba,
just
are you
table.
still interested in it being prosecuted publicly here?
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the chair because on the comprehensive report about the cause of the fire, that's a matter that still rests with him. Because this fire was not specifically for my people only, but it can affect anybody else. But I want to say, Honorable Speaker, on the support for the families, he actually reached out and we were able to be supported not only by the leadership, but also the President himself gave a lot of support together with the Governor of Nairobi, yourself and other people. But I want to report that the Disaster Management Department does not work because the support they promised, they could not do it. On the DNA, I must report that the chair did very well.
Sorry, Milemba, you cannot comment on a statement that has not been presented. What I ask you is whether between yourselves you had agreed that it doesn't have to be presented. If it doesn't have to, then you have no business commenting on it. If it has to be presented, then you will be allowed to say what you are legitimately saying.
Honorable Speaker, he needs to
go ahead and present the statement.
To execute this reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well guided. I was just trying to notify you that much has already been covered. But nevertheless, Honorable Speaker, in response to the said statement, I want to respond as follows. On the 24th May, about 5:30 hours, members of the public reported the outbreak of the fire at Kibra's police station, Vido bin number 8/24/5 of 2025. On arrival, police officers established that a huge fire was raging and consuming several houses. The officers conducted the National Disaster Management Unit a Nairobi County Fire and Disaster Management team. The immediate rescue operation were initiated and the area was cordoned off to prevent further danger to the onlookers and the neighboring residents. The Nairobi County Fire and Disaster Management team arrived shortly, and with their intervention, the fire was successfully put out at around 6:26 hours. Victims who sustained injuries were evacuated to various hospitals by the Red Cross and the private ambulances, while those who succumbed to fire-related burns were taken to Nairobi Funeral Home. Inquiry file number 7 of 2025 was opened at Kibra Police Station and investigation commenced. The DCI crime scene team visited and documented the scene and collected all items of the evidential value for the forensic analysis. The preliminary investigation, Honorable Speaker, established that over 30 temporary dwellings, houses were razed down by the fire, resulting in death of 8 persons, 6 injuries, and disappearance of over 71 persons. And among the 8 deceased were Yvonne Anyonje, Stephen Anyimbo, Abdallah Ajab, Silas Ombima, Harrison Liala, Ernest Ombima, Gertrude Samisi, and Florence Ambani. And the following, Honorable Speaker, are the name of the victim who survived: Sabibu Ibrahim, Aisha Ajab, Leiden Harrison, Abdullah Karim Hussein, Gertrude Zvihigeni, and Charity Eva. Honorable Speaker, investigation team managed to get 10 witnesses who have since recorded statements. However, none of them has been able to identify the cause of death. The preliminary investigation from the Nairobi County Government Fire and Disaster Management attributed the cause of fire to an electrical fault. Given that most of the electricity connection in the area, Honorable Speaker, are as a result of illegal connections. However, a technical report from the Kenya Power is still pending. As such, the actual cause of death of fire remain undetermined. Efforts are in place to record additional statement from other victims who are currently undergoing treatment. These statements are expected to provide further insight into the investigation, and the matter is under active investigation pending expert report from the Kenya Power investigation team. On the second question, in regards to the support that is being offered, the survivors of the tragedy received comprehensive support, which included necessities, financial assistance, emergency medical care, psychosocial counseling. And this aid was drawn out by various well-wishers, including the national government, the Nairobi County government, the Kenya Red Cross, the local politician, as well put by the concerned member, and from the area, and other general philanthropists. On the third question on the issue of the DNA, Honorable Speaker, the DCI homicide team collected biological sample from the deceased at the Nairobi Funeral Home to facilitate the DNA profiling exercise. The samples were subsequently submitted to the government chemist for analysis. Upon completion of the DNA, results were successfully matched to the families of the deceased, facilitating accurate identification of all bodies. The postmortem examinations were then conducted, and the remains were subsequently released to their respective families for burial. So that was done as well. On the last question, on the issue of the measures being put in place, the following measures has been put in place to prevent similar tragedies in the informal settlement in future. The public awareness on legal electricity connections, enforcement against illegal and electricity connections, the National Police Service Rapid Response and Disaster Coordination Framework has put in place a mechanism to help prevent such occurrences in the future. The statement being signed by the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for Interior, and Honorable Speaker, I submit.
The Honorable Mboko Milemba, MP.
Like I said, Honorable Speaker, I must start by thanking the chair, because the chair did swing in action, and he was able to be very, very helpful. On the first issue of a comprehensive report, that remains on his side because no comprehensive report has been given, but that's for the good and wellness of the entire country, so I hope he'll be doing something about that. On the issue of the support, we indeed, like he has indicated, we got a lot of support from His Excellency the President and other leaders across the country, including the Speaker. the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and other well-wishers. I want to report, Honorable Speaker, there's a disaster management unit in Nyayo House which is supposed to help such cases. But this particular one did not do anything, and they kept on dodging around. I think some serious attention needs to be given to the disaster management office at Nyayo House, because it does not work out to help Kenyans when they are in problems. And I think the chair should take note of that. Finally, on DNA, I must report that the chair really helped and called the authorities, and were able to get DNA on time, and the victims of this fire were actually buried safely back in Emuhaya. And therefore, I want to thank the chair for having worked very closely with ourselves and the people in Emuhaya to have these people accorded a good send-off. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, Honorable Omboko, you seem satisfied. Yeah, so the next statement, the Chair, Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. A statement request by the Honorable Paul Abur. Where is the Honorable Paul Abur, MP for Rongo? Chair, Departmental Committee, Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. In the absence of Honorable Paul Abur, you will lay the response at the table, unless there is something you critically want to say.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and most obliged.
Yes. So Honorable Abur can be informed to get that response. Next will be I'm not seeing the member saying point of order with clarity. That is Honorable Gonzirai. Yes, give him the mic.
Mr. Speaker, what I'm seeking is just directions, because on Thursday I was actually promised that the Select Committee on Diaspora and Immigration was supposed to give actually a response to my statement. Now I've been informed that the matter was referred to Defense. So,
yes,
there was a response which I was supposed to receive from Select Committee on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, but I was given to understand that the matter was referred to Defense. So I want to know actually when should I be receiving this response from the Minister of Defense and Foreign Affairs?
Yes, Honorable Gonzirai, I'm not seeing the chair for Defense, Foreign Relations and Intelligence. The Honorable Martha Wangari will represent the chair. Give Honorable.
It is not Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Workers. It is actually two different committees. So the committee that is supposed to bring the response is the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. And I had already spoken to him. We were meeting in the morning today, and we still don't have that response. We are still waiting from the ministry. And the moment is here, it should be tabled as soon as possible, Mr. Speaker.
How long do you estimate it will take, Honorable Martha Wangari?
I would say by next week.
By next week?
Yes. Wednesday.
By when? Do we say by Wednesday or Thursday?
Well, we say Thursday, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, so
Thursday next week.
By Thursday means if it is ready on Tuesday or Wednesday, it can still come, Honorable Gonzirai. I hope that satisfies. Yeah, so the next statement request, the request concerning the disappearance of Mr. Ruben Barua, response from the committee in charge of Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. The Honorable Mashua Waithaka is the Honorable member in the House. Is Honorable Mashua Waithaka, MP for Kiambu, in the House? Then, going by tradition and precedent, Honorable Martha Wangari, you will table that report. Honorable Mashua will seek it out.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The statement is ready. We will table it as directed. And maybe, Mr. Speaker, because I'm on my feet, allow me to welcome the students that you see in the public gallery. They are students from a school called Woodard Secondary School. It is in Morindat Ward, in Gilgil constituency. And you can see there are quite a number, more than 100. This is one of the biggest and the largest we have day schools, Mr. Speaker, that even when you visit the school, looks like an academy, looks like a boarding school. They're actually elegant, not just the way they look, but also in terms of education. So allow me to welcome them to the House as their Member of Parliament to observe the proceedings of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Martha Wangari, and I hope they work hard as you do. All those students are welcome to the National Assembly, over which Honorable Martha Wangari presides, to observe the proceedings, and we wish you well in your studies. The next. This one was the request by the Honorable Peter Masara to the Departmental Committee on Education. Do we have the response? Do we have any member representing the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education, or the Honorable Clive Gisario? Where is Honorable Peter Masara, MP? Yes, Honorable Peter Masara is present. Please proceed and respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to respond to request of our statement regarding capitation to schools, textbook ratio and early childhood education program sought by Honorable Peter Masara, MP. Plans to increase capitation for both primary and secondary schools. The approved capitation rate to be provided by the government under the free primary education program is Kenya shillings 1,420 per learner per year. The approved rate for junior school is Kenya shillings 15,042 per learner per year. The approved rate under the free day secondary education program is Kenya shillings 22,244 per learner per year. The Presidential Working Party on Education Reform recommended the review of these rates to reflect the current cost of education. For primary school, the recommended rate is Kenya shillings 2,238 per year. For junior school, the recommended rate is Kenya shillings 15,043 per learner. For secondary school, the recommended rate is Kenya shillings 22,527 per learner. The enhancement of these rates will require additional budgetary allocation. It is to be noted that over the last 5 years, the funds provided to the Ministry of Education have fallen short of the current approved rate, leading to underfunding of the schools. The ministry is compelled to divide the available amount with the number of learners. This results in capitation amounts that are lower than the approved rate. To illustrate this, Table 1 shows the trends for the secondary schools as an example. Giving an example, the rate disbursed for financial year 2018-2019 was 21,140 and 45 cents. 2019-2020, 20,155.59. 2020-2021, 17,495 and 95 cents. 21-22, 17,401 and 86 cents. And for financial year 22-23, 17,456 and 72 cents. Thus, even as we work towards implementing the new rates of funding as recommended by the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform, it is imperative to ensure that the current rates are met. We urge the August Committee to support us in this regard. A report on the ratio of textbooks to pupils in the country, the criteria used by the ministry to determine the ratio of textbook distribution and measures taken to ensure an equitable ratio countrywide. The ministry, through the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, distributes books to learners across the country at the ratio of one core textbook per learner per subject. The table below indicates the distribution of textbooks to schools since the financial year 2017-2018. 2017-2018, the quantities ordered were 32,000 32,579,977. These were Form 1 to 4 secondary textbooks, Standard 7 to 8 textbooks, PP1 and 2 curriculum designs, Grade 3 course materials. 2018-2019, quantities ordered were 68,446,084. These were Form 1 to 4 secondary textbooks, Grade 1 to 3 core materials, SNE course materials, early years education, G4 and CDS. 2019-2020, 24 million books were ordered, 24,456,786. These were Grade 4 course materials, Grade 4 teachers' handbooks, Grade 4 SNE intermediate CDS, and T/HB Standard 5 to 8 course materials. 2020-2021, 33,253,705. These were included previous set books, repeat Standard 5 and 6, not EGS, Grade 5, CDS, and course materials. 2021-2022, we had 23,539,613. These included Grade 6 course materials and CDS, revised early years CDS, revised early years Swahili, and Kiswahili Grade 1 to 3. 2022 set books, Grade 5 SNE CDS. 2022-2023, we had 31 million books, 233,035. These included Grade 7 course materials and CDS, Grade 7 SNE materials, 2023 set books, Grade 5 and 6 adapted books, SNE G6, CDS, SNE upper primary. 2023-2024, 26 million books, 933,992. These included Grade 8 course materials and replenishment of secondary textbooks. Lastly, 2024-2025, 9 million books, 926,618. These included Grade 9 course materials. Grade 10 textbooks were reviewed and evaluated in April and May of this year. These will ensure that publishers have ample time to print and distribute books to public schools by the start of third term 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Peter Masara, you are satisfied?
Chairman, Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. First, Mr. Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of these hours that something needs to be done in regard to statements and questions. This particular statement, I was in these hours in early February this year. Up to now is when we are getting the response. If you look at the first question I asked about the capitation, the Presidential Working Committee agreed that the capitation need to be increased, and that was in February. Why it that we received this communication before the start of the budgetary cycle, an increased amount will have been given to these schools, and that one cannot work now because already the budget has been passed, maybe in the first supplementary budget. Mr. Speaker, I'm not satisfied with the question because if you can look at the response, it shows that for the last almost 8 years, the capitation for primary schools and secondary school has been constant, but the cost of living has been increasing each and every year. It means schools and the principals and the head teachers are really suffering outside there. It is the prerogative of these hours to allocate enough funds so that this issue of capitation can be sufficient to school. Mr. Speaker, a while ago, there was the issue raised by Mheshimiwa Omolemba on the music festival being done in Meru, where schools cannot be given money, cannot be given enough money to ferry students from their destination to the venue of this occasion. Mr. Speaker, these gaps as a result of funding. Therefore, these houses need to come up with a proper way of funding schools, both in primary, secondary, and even junior secondary school. Mr. Speaker, on the second question, you have the books he has mentioned that are being given to school. When I was invited by this committee, when the CS of Treasury and Education was there, they accepted that the number of students that are being used to do budget is not the actual number in schools, you realize that the Minister of Education is using the number of those who are in NEMIS. But back in schools, I gave example of several schools. Example, one of them was Horuba Keo, with a population of 1,600 students, yet the money being given for capitation is for only 500 students. That means the data we have as a country in terms of financing schools is not accurate. Therefore, the Minister of Education need to come up and tell us when they'll capture the actual number of students in school so that the capitation can be based on the actual number on the ground. Mr. Speaker, on that particular statement I thought was that there was supposed to be also an issue of ECD schools. This thing was done in February. By the time the committee was sitting, the minister in charge was telling us that they have not gotten a report from the Council of Governors. Mr. Speaker, the issue of ECD schools is a serious matter in this country. We cannot purport to be giving credible education system, yet the ECD system is not properly managed. So many schools, you get to a primary school, a ECD center with only one class, with three, we have a playgroup, PP1 and PP2, with one teacher, one classroom without toilet, a teacher who is not being paid. It is high time we, as members of parliament, come up with even a curriculum for ECD, a universal one, because you cannot tell me Turkana is having their curriculum, Migori is having their curriculum, Mombasa is having their different curriculum. The way they man their ECD is totally different. It is important that this house come up, or the Minister of Education, to show us how our ECDs are being managed. ECD is a crucial aspect of education, because this is the stage where the child is being, the developing in terms of academic starts from there. But when we leave it for everybody to do it the way they want, Mr. Speaker, we are leading this country to a real disaster in future. Time will come when these students who are in ECD now, who are not being capacitated well, are the doctors, are the engineers, are the teachers, are the MPs, and it means that such a time this country will be in a real problem. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting this House to redirect the Committee of Education so that they can get a way forward for our students come next financial year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, the Honorable Peter Masara, you've raised very critical matters concerning the education sector. Maybe just to indicate that the Speaker has already directed that the CS for Education will be in the House tomorrow to address that matter of capitation and also that other. So I wanted to say that because we will be having the Cabinet Secretary for Education here tomorrow, in as much as it is on that matter concerning the faring of our students who are going for the National Schools Festival in Meru, we could raise this matter of capitation also as an issue. That is, if you are not satisfied.
Mr. Speaker, as I earlier alluded that I'm not satisfied, maybe tomorrow I can come up with a better answer that can satisfy the Kenyans people, because education is the key to everything in a country. Without a proper education, you can't have good managers, you can't have good speakers, you can't have good members of parliament. Therefore, this is a crucial issue which need to be addressed, and maybe the ministry can show us the way forward. Not only responding to what I requested in February, what have they done as per the current status of my question, Mr. Speaker? That will help people, teachers, and even parents to know that we are going toward the right direction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I cannot agree more, Honorable Peter Masara. Honorable Kangogo Bowen, what do you want to add?
Mr. Speaker, I'm well guided by your direction because indeed, Honorable Speaker, I was making that suggestion that because the CS is coming tomorrow, we should include what the honorable member for Emuhaya and what the honorable member Masara, the two questions, so that the CS can answer. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious discrepancy between the data which is in the Ministry of Education in terms of the number of students we have in Kenya, that is in NEMIS, and the real number of students we have in our schools. And Mr. Speaker, if you check in our supplementary one budget, Mr. Speaker, and the honorable member, Gaseru, who just read the statement, knows because he's the member of the committee, this House approved close to 100 million Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker. Then, for enhancement of NEMIS, to make sure that every student in Kenya is captured. Because what the ministry is dispersing is completely different with the number of students. But Honorable Speaker, I don't want to say it might because you've already directed that the CS, the Minister of Education, is coming to this House tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, we will ask him those questions. But what I want to ask all members of all of us in this House, if you go check what is in the NEMIS for your schools, the number of students in your schools, and what is in NEMIS, the discrepancy is huge, Honorable Speaker.
I thank you, honorable members. Why don't we leave it at that? The Honorable Wangwe, you want to say something?
Thank
Honorable
you.
Wangwe, I want you to say what you want to say after I recognize a number of institutions within the House. So in the Speaker's Gallery, we have Maramat Junior School from Kajiado North constituency, Kajiado County. And then in the Public Gallery, we have Kamviu Secondary School from Manyata constituency, the Great Embu County, and Sakwesori Primary School from Runyenjes constituency, Embu County. All the pupils, students, their teachers, and those institutions are welcome to the National Assembly to observe proceedings even as they continue to learn. Yes, the Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to just also weigh in on this issue of the minister coming tomorrow with a specific issue, Honorable Speaker. The issue of NEMIS, Honorable Speaker, is a challenge. You find that, Honorable Speaker, a school, and I want to be very particular, Sirgoi Secondary School in my constituency, it had 480 students. When it came to entry into NEMIS, for them to get capitation, they registered 18 students. But when it came to issuance of books, textbooks, Honorable Speaker, they issued textbooks for 480 students. The challenge, Honorable Speaker, is when it comes to trading with the ministry, the numbers come alive. When it comes to getting capitation from the ministry, the numbers die. Honorable Speaker, that's a challenge which the minister should unveil and tell this country what happens. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Clive Gesario, lastly.
Maybe in future I'll be the minister. For now, I'm your colleague here. Speaker, I just want maybe to, on a point of information, so that the members tomorrow when they're asking questions, they don't sound not to be in touch. As Honorable Kango said, this House did allocate 100 million. It was actually to move from NEMIS to the system now the ministry is using since July 1st, CHEMIS, so that at least we are updated. The NEMIS, they kept, when we raised the issues as a committee, they kept saying that it heavily relied on the birth certificate, which a number of children never had. And they did say that the CHEMIS was more inclusive and it did capture more students. The question is, how far are they in the implementing of that CHEMIS? That is maybe the best question that we can ask, because we do agree the discrepancies between the system and the number of students receiving capitation is quite adverse. Thank you, Speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for now of Education Committee, the Honorable Clive Gesario. Let the issue of capitation together with the matter concerning the travel of our students and pupils to the Meru National School be addressed by the Minister in charge of Education tomorrow. Do we have the response to the question that was asked by the Honorable Stephen Mogaka, MP? The Regional Development Committee Chair. question was on the state of preparedness for the wet season. Proceed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a response to a statement regarding the state of preparedness for cyclical wet season in the Lake Victoria Basin, rain belt, as requested by the Honorable Stephen Mogaka, Member of Parliament for West Mugirango constituency. Now, Honorable Speaker, the first question sought was measures the government has put in place in belt. Now, Honorable Speaker, the response is as follows: that the government, through the Ministry of East African Community, the arid and semi-arid lands, that is ASALS and Regional Development, and other ministries, departments, and agencies, and partners have implemented several proactive measures to ensure timely and effective dissemination of weather-related warnings. They include the following, Honorable Speaker. One, in the livelihoods in West Mugirango constituency and the Greater Lake Victoria Basin. Number two, the government is working on strengthening early warning systems by enhancing its meteorological forecasting and early warning systems through, one, advanced weather monitoring technology, installation of automated weather stations across the Lake Victoria Basin data. Now, regional and county-based forecasting centers. Now, strengthening coordination between the Kenya Meteorological Department and regional agencies to generate localized and actionable weather forecasts. Number three, use of real-time information dissemination to ensure residents receive timely alerts. The government has deployed multiple SMS alerts and mobile applications. Now, through partnerships with the mobile service providers, residents receive real-time weather updates via SMS alerts and mobile-based platforms. Community radio stations and public announcements. Collaborating with vernacular radio stations to provide daily weather forecasts in local languages is encouraged. Now, use of local media and the digital platforms. Dissemination of forecasts through official government and meteorological department social media pages. Number four, collaboration with local administrators and community networks, including use of local national government administrative officers, that is NGAO, to disseminate the information as they undertake their routine work in barasas and other fora. Chiefs and village elders are key pillars in the training and equipping of local administrators with the timely meteorological updates for swift community-level dissemination. Religious and community-based organizations partnering with churches, mosques, and self-help groups to enhance the flow of weather-related information. Number five, preparation of flood and disaster preparedness plans. Now, given the cyclical wet seasons that often lead to flooding and landslides in the Lake Victoria Basin, the government has taken proactive measures, including the following: drainage infrastructure, strengthening drainage systems to mitigate flooding in low-lying areas, evacuation plans and temporary shelters, pre-identification of safe evacuation zones, and establishment of emergency shelters for affected populations. Now, the government has pre-positioned sufficient essential relief supplies, items such as food, clean water, mosquito nets, and medical supplies in strategic locations. Capacity building and public awareness campaigns, including the following, Honorable Speaker: community sensitization programs, conducting awareness campaigns on the risks associated with hazardous weather and response measures, training of local disaster response teams, equipping community responders with basic skills in disaster management, first aid, and search and rescue operations. Number seven, strengthening the regional and cross-border coordination, recognizing that weather patterns in the Lake Victoria Basin affect multiple counties and the neighboring countries. The government is working closely with counties and the neighboring countries. The government is working closely with the East African meteorological agencies, enhancing data sharing with Uganda and Tanzania for comprehensive forecasting. Lake Victoria Basin Commission, collaborating on joint research and response strategies. Number 8, the government remains committed to safeguarding the residents of West Mugirango areas in the Lake Victoria Basin by ensuring that timely and effective weather information reaches communities, allowing them to prepare adequately for hazardous weather events. These measures are crucial in enhancing resilience, reducing disaster risks, and protecting lives and property. Now, Honorable Speaker, I just want to scan out through this statement because I believe the member has already been given this statement. I just want to go, just scan through. So that the question number 2 was detailed report on the interventions being implemented by the government to ensure timely emergency response, including prepositioning of relief supplies, if any. Now the response, Honorable Speaker, is as follows: that the government, through the Special Programs Directorate, now the State Department for Special Programs, in collaboration with other ministries, departments, and agencies, has put in place comprehensive emergency response mechanisms to address the impacts of the cyclical wet season in the Lake Victoria rain belt. These interventions are designed to mitigate the effects of heavy rainfall, flash floods, and landslides, ensuring that affected communities receive timely assistance and relief. Honorable Speaker, going to question number 3. Long-term mitigation strategies that the government intends to adopt to address the recurrent disaster, including climate adaptation measures. Now, Honorable Speaker, the government recognizes the increasing frequency and severity of climate-related disasters in the country, particularly in vulnerable regions such as West Mugirango constituency and the broader Lake Victoria rain belt. In response to the State Department for Special Programs, the State Department for Special Programs, in collaboration with other ministries, departments, and agencies, has developed a suite of long-term mitigation strategies to strengthen resilience, reduce vulnerability, and enhance adaptive capacity at the face of cyclical wet seasons and associated hazards such as floods, landslides, waterborne diseases, outbreaks, and infrastructure degradation. Number 4, I think the last, Honorable Speaker, is measures being made. Honorable Speaker, after going through that, we have put in place measures that the government is doing. I don't want to go through them. I think the member will go through that. And then now, finally, number 4, Honorable Speaker, is that measures being made to educate and equip residents with knowledge on disaster management to improve the resilience. Now, the response, Honorable Speaker, is as follows: that the measures include the following. 1, community-based disaster risk education and awareness campaigns through sensitization drives, regularly conducting public barazas, village meetings, and school engagements aimed at raising awareness on disaster risks specific to the region, such as flash floods, landslides, and waterborne diseases outbreaks during the rainy season. Localized IEC materials, development and distribution of information, education and communication materials in local languages. For example, Ekegusi, Luo, Kiswahili, including post radio jingles, community drama, and mobile SMS alerts. Now, seasonal forecast dissemination, simplified weather forecast, and advisories from the Kenya Meteorological Department are shared widely through local FM stations, chiefs, ward administrators, and digital platforms to help communities plan ahead. Now, training of community disaster management committees through formation and capacity building of these committees. In each ward, local disaster management committees are being trained on risk identification, emergency response, coordination, evacuation planning, and first aid. Simulation exercises and drills periodic mock disaster response drills to test preparedness and coordination among residents, local leadership, and emergency response responders linkage with county and national structures. Now, integration of disaster risk reduction into school curricula and youth engagement. Now, for youth and women empowerment, specific training programs targeting youth and women groups on special disaster response techniques, including safe shelter management and water treatment during floods. Enhancing access to tools and equipment for community response. Now, provision of basic emergency kits, distribution of first aid kits, whistles, emergency lights, water purification tablets, and life jackets in flood-prone villages. Community resource centers, establishment of community information hubs equipped with disaster preparedness materials, internet access for weather updates and training resources. Now, finally, multi-sectoral partnerships and policy support. Now, collaborate training with MDS and NGOs, joint initiatives with the Ministry of Interior, Kenya Red Cross, National Drought Management Authority, NDMA, National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, and county governments to deliver technical training, support drills, and enhance local disaster planning, policy and legal literacy, educating communities on their rights and responsibilities under national laws and policies such as the National Disaster Management Policy and the Climate Change Act. Now, Honorable Speaker, these measures aim not just at reducing vulnerability, but at fostering a culture of proactive risk management and preparedness among the local populations in the Lake Victoria rain belt. Through informed, equipped, and engaged communities, the government envisions a region that is climate resilient, response ready, and development secure. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, the Honorable Stephen Mugaka, before you confirm whether you need any further clarification, let me recognize the following institutions seated at the public gallery. We have Balek B Secondary School from Bomet, Mary's Primary and Junior School from Matthias constituency, Busia County. On my own behalf, parliamentary proceedings. The Honorable Stephen Mugaka now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity of our lack of preparedness have actually been confirmed after reading and listening to the committee's concerns. Firstly, Mr. Speaker, I raised this concern quite ahead of the disaster that has already crystallized. And that was before the rains came. Okay. And therefore, the answer or the response is so full of bombastic policy statements and that are in place that will help avert or mitigate disaster. Mr. Speaker, it pains me that while this response was go and attend a funeral where 3 siblings had lost their lives because of thunder, and hearing this response that I don't want to use the word lies, but I want to say that is extremely misleading, that there are mitigation measures, that there are supplies given to victims of such disaster. Nothing came through for my constituency, which makes me extremely worried because this is a cyclical annual exercise that we go through, and looking at the storm water, because my constituency and Gusii region is essentially very hilly. The storm water wreaks havoc and brings down our muddy houses. And therefore, unless we get very specific indications on how we are going to deal with this as we dealt with the Budalangi area with the floods. I mean, this vulnerability that happens every year and people register losses is a thing that should not be had 65 or 64 years. I would wish that you order this committee to go back and relook at what it is that they are doing to make Kenyans aware of the disaster arising from climate change, and in particular, the lake region, where cyclically we suffer thunderstorms, where we suffer a lot of storm water, where we suffer flooding, where we suffer all lots of illness associated with this. The government must be prepared to respond as it responds whenever hunger, when drought strikes other areas, when livestock are in danger. We see responses, but in the line of danger annually, and there is no policy that actually responds. It is my humble request, Mr. Committee, to relook, and I will also give them my supplementary concerns for purposes of giving very, very specific action plans rather than give us policy statements that I have heard and this House has been treated to this afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, the Chair, Regional Development. The Honorable Mogaka is requesting to appear before the committee with the heads of ministry and sectors concerned so that this matter of disaster risks can be dealt with conclusively. What do you have to say?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair. I think, now first of all, I want to agree with the member for West Mugirango that now from the time this statement was sought to now, it's quite some time. And probably between that time and now, many things have happened. And I want to say Pole for his constituents that lost lives because of this kind of disasters. We feel for the member and we feel for the people of Kenya that lost lives because either government did not adequately prepare in good time, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, before this House, we have a disaster risk management bill that is before this House, and I think if that comes into effect, it will attempt to address more effectively disaster management in this country. But having said that, Honorable Speaker, I think if you direct, we can still request the ministry to come before the committee, and we invite the honorable member to come, because as it is now, I read the statement as was presented by the ministry, and he's almost confirming that whatever I'm reading here may not reflect what actually is on the ground, and therefore I think we will look for time and invite the ministry so that the honorable
How
member
long
come.
do you need to do so?
I don't know. Now that we are going for recess next week, I think we could do it the first week after we come from recess.
Okay.
Thank you.
Honorable Mogaka, that would be satisfactory so that the matter is interrogated. in
Yes,
better
that's
detail.
fine. But my friend, Honorable Ferdinand, suffers the same problems. If you can kindly capture his
The Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, I wanted to request that you all appear before the committee so that we deal with the remaining statement requests and go to main business. Give Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi the mic for a minute.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to agree with the honorable member. I think other than waiting for disaster to happen, I'm from the Lake region, and this is a very critical issue. I just want my colleague here to take upon himself so can get the ministry concerned to be able to address this, because it's a matter of having equipment to be able to protect our people from the same. Apart from what my colleague has just said, I also lost 2 family members because of the lightning. And it's not something that we just want to talk and say, let's talk about it, let's plan for it. I think, Mr. Speaker, it's important that we actually, at this stage, pressurize my colleague who is actually in charge to get a ministry concerned to be able to look for the current equipment to be able to protect our people and the families from this lightning. is happening every other, particularly in the Lake region, where I'm sure your speaker, my speaker, you come from. Let's have this done other than waiting, calling the minister to come before us. Let's now pressurize whoever is to come up with preventive measures. I support my
Thank
colleague.
you, Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi. The Chair, Regional Development. Order. Order, Honorable Liza Chelule. I'm talking with the Chair. So the Speaker is directing that you will convene a meeting within a month to address this matter conclusively. I reckon that the Parliament is going on recess, but Parliament never closes within the session. Would you confirm that? So that all these members with the various concerns can appear before you and have the issues addressed by the relevant ministry.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. We'll do as you have directed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. As the question by the Honorable Mishi Mboko, the Chair, Transport and Infrastructure Committee, is to address that. The question concerning the status of upgrade of Likoni Ferry Crossing. Is Honorable Mishi Mboko in the House? The Honorable Mishi Mboko also serves as a commissioner. Yes, whoever is representing the chair of the relevant departmental committee should proceed and respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The member for Likoni, Honorable Mishi Mboko, requested for statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of upgrading of Likoni Ferry Crossing, addressing the following issues. Measures put in place by the government to ensure safety and efficiency of ferry services, including an update on the status of the maintenance and the procurement plans for new ferries and upgrading of the existing vessels. Status of the construction of Mtongwe Ramp in Likoni constituency, long-term strategies being put in place to provide sustainable and reliable maritime transport solution for residents of Mombasa County and business dependent on ferry services. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a written response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport, which I now wish to make on behalf of the Chair. Regarding the measures put in place by the government to ensure safety and efficiency of ferry services, including an update on the status of maintenance and procurement plans for the new ferries and the upgrade of the existing vessels, ferry services and the Likoni and Mutongwe Channel to cater both pedestrians and vehicles. Honorable Speaker, since 2020-21, the pedestrian traffic has increased from 300,000 to 500,000 daily, while vehicle numbers have declined due to the Dongokundu bypass. Bicycle crossing ranged between 6,000 and 7,300. There are two key limitations that hinder expansion of the Likoni Channel. One, Mr. Speaker, is the port activities. The challenge is shared with the maritime traffic, include port